Hi everyone, as promised I'm here to show you how to make watercolor paintings. You can create many kind of effect and depending on how you're using it, all you need is a brush. There are different kinds of brush according to the size of the painting, and of course watercolor. Don't need to go for any professional stuff. You need to have a basic understanding of complementary and the contrasting colors. Of course you can create many things. What's lovely is the way watercolor flows into each other. You can see here I'm using two different kinds of contrasting colors, and there is also some green and yellow which are closer in hue to each other. So depending upon the kind of effect, whether you want to create a contrasting effect or whether you want some complementary colors, as in different shading hues, you can create watercolor. One more thing which is important in watercolor painting is that there are different techniques. You can do a grading of a gradient kind of, as you can see, from very dark shade to lighter shade, and you should try to do it from the bottom to up, and move up, and also in watercolor the edges should be blurred, as I'm doing here. There should not be any sharp edges, and this is actually wet on wet technique, where I'm first brushing the paper with water, and then you can add a watercolor. So when you're starting out, especially on a bigger canvas, or to spread out colors, wet on wet technique is the best to use. Once you have to introduce the details, then you should wait for the watercolor to dry to add the details. Here I'm trying to show you how you can create different highlights, and this is using tissue paper. The water color wash that I've used is not very wet, otherwise it will not work. And then slowly, wherever you want the highlights to be, you can press and create the highlights. Here I have used the easily available the cellophane, and to create different kinds of abstract effect, and you can use also salt. Again, the water should not be too wet, the wash, and create very interesting effects, especially if you want it to be more creative or want to go all abstract. So you can get many different kinds of effect. One more thing which is very important in watercolor is layering. So you should not go all out and try to add all the colors, because they will blend with each other and not look great. So as you can see, I'm trying to make a petal here. You don't need to do it with your brush. You can lightly actually use your pencil, not too dark. Here I'm waiting for this petal color, the wash, to dry before I am adding another petal, so that the layers are easily seen and you will see a beautiful transparent effect coming up. As you can see, you can actually make out one petal from the other. It's as if you can see through the second petal. So layering is extremely important. You have to be a little patient. You can even use a blow dry to dry out the paint if you're not really that patient. And the effects that you can create are incredible. As the paintings dry, you can either add details, You can make it hard lines depending on what you want to achieve. So if you are too impatient, what happens in watercolor is that they bleed into each other. Like you can see here, when the painting is not yet dried, that petal, and the green is bleeding into the painting. Don't be too worried. You can actually remove the painting by drying out your brush and taking out the water, and use a little bit of more water and dry out the bleed, remove the bleed rather. So just wait for the painting to dry if you don't want it to bleed into each other. Of course, if you really want a blur effect, or you want to actually blend with the other one color, with to blend with the other, you can do it. That's what you do when you are making sky painting. So here are a few of the watercolor flowers, and as you can see, I have made a rough drawing here, and don't have to be very stressed out about the details. The details you will go on adding, and also when you are drawing, it should not be too dark. And you can even remove erase it with your eraser if the pencil is too dark. So this is a concept which I was trying to do. It's from the newspaper, and here I'm adding out the details, and these are